All right, everybody, I think we're going to get started. All right. Okay. So we have a couple different meetings happening here as a part of tonight's award ceremony. We have a Youth and Family Services Advisory Board meeting that's happening, and we also have a Rotary meeting. If I'm right, Lori, is this considered a Rotary meeting? Not really. Oh, okay. A formal function of the Rotary. Both of those things require a call to order or an invocation. So I'm going to formally call to order the Youth and Family Services Advisory Board meeting for today, October 25th. All right. And I want to just acknowledge that Westwood Media Center is recording this evening's ceremony for viewing later on their platform. Thank you to Westwood Media Center. And I'm going to have Lori Favreau of the Westwood Rotary come up and start off the Rotary portion of tonight's meeting.
Good evening. I'm Lori Favreau, and I'm currently the president of Westwood Rotary. And between Youth Services and Rotary, we give out these awards every year that recognizes the youth for Westwood. We have 5 of them this year, which is very, very nice, that have all been recognized by different people or ways and have done outstanding things for the community. As far as Rotary, the first thing we usually do with our meetings is we turn, if you wouldn't mind standing, and we're going to pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our second part is usually we always say a prayer when we're together. So if you wouldn't mind bowing your heads. May those assembled here this evening support and encourage these young people in their future endeavors. And may these young people remember to help their community and to complete service to others that may need assistance. And may we always test ourselves in our efforts to be sure they are the truth, good for all concerned, of benefit to mankind, provide peace and understanding, and always strive to place service above self in our daily endeavors. Amen. I am just going to briefly introduce the 5 of them, and then I will turn it back over to Daniela for the actual award ceremony. We have Jack Fascaldo, a freshman at Babson College who recently graduated Westwood. Caroline James, an 8th grader at the Thurston Middle School. We have Ryan Kissel, who is a freshman at Boston College who graduated from Westwood. Katie Mullen, a senior at Westwood High. And we have Vivian Woodard, a junior at Westwood High. So certainly on Rotary's behalf, congratulations to you 5, and I'm going to turn it back over to Danielle.
Thank you, Lori. All right. So thank you to everyone for joining us tonight to celebrate these young people and their commitment to service. I'd like to also give a special thank you to Mary Ellen LaRose of Youth and Family Services, and also to our town clerk, Dottie Powers, who could not be here tonight, but is a Westwood Rotarian. Both Mary Ellen and Dottie are responsible for all of the planning and organization around the Recognize the Youth program and tonight's award ceremony. Thank you to the Westwood Public Library for hosting tonight's event, and thanks again to the Westwood Media Center for being here to record tonight's event so that it can be viewed by others in the community and by family members who are not able to be here. So each year when I stand up here, I say that this is one of my favorite events of the year, and it's always true. I can't think of anything more heartwarming and hopeful than coming together to celebrate the good works of young people who have shown early in their lives a dedication to serving others and to making the communities to which they belong stronger, better places. In this time when we often hear about what is not going well, about what is dark or stressful in the world, it is so nice to be able to recognize the brightness and goodness of the work that has been done by this year's Ray Award recipients. Before I introduce each of the recipients and talk about their service, I just want to say a few words about why the Youth and Family Services Department and the Rotary Club created the Recognize the Youth Awards 22 years ago now, and why we've held these awards each year since. So at Youth and Family Services, our mission is to support the healthy development of Westwood young people between the ages of 4 to 18 years old and their families. And the Rotary is committed to making lasting change in their local communities and all around the world. Because of the work that we do, we know, like most of you do, that community service makes communities stronger, creates lasting change, and helps those most in need. We also know some things that you might not know about community service, that those who regularly do community service stay healthier, both physically and mentally, throughout their lives, that those who regularly do community service have lower rates of anxiety and depression, that they are known to cope better during stressful times, and that they continue to serve all of the communities to which they belong and to find ways to bring their talents into service throughout their lives. Knowing all of this, what a wonderful gift community service is to both those receiving it and those doing it, it makes sense that we would work together to recognize young people who have already shown an extraordinary commitment to community service in their early years. So let's hear more about and from this year's Ray Award recipients. All right, we're going to go in alphabetical order. We're going to start with Jack Fascaldo. Hi, Jack. You can stay right there. I'm just going to talk a little bit, and then I'll have you come up. All right. Jack, so as Lori mentioned, Jack Fascaldo is a recent graduate of Westwood High School and is currently a freshman at Boston College. He was nominated by Carlene Duffy, the Faith Formation Director at St. Margaret Mary's Parish. And throughout his high school years, Jack volunteered his time assisting the parish. In her nomination, Carlene remarked, "Whenever I need help, all I have to do is ask, and he comes forward, whether it's carrying over 100 chairs for an outdoor event, hanging dozens of lights in the trees surrounding the church, shoveling snow, or breaking down after an event." Jack was a member of the Westwood ice hockey and lacrosse teams and a member of the National Honor Society. He also served as a teen mentor for Westwood Youth and Family Services in our bullying prevention program. Over the last few years, Jack has created 2 successful businesses on his own. Maple Jack, his maple syrup business, which began by tapping the maple trees in his backyard. And more recently, Jack learned the art of beekeeping and is now producing and selling honey. So Jack, I will have you come up now to receive your award. All right. We got a bunch of stuff going on here. I'll have you come up here. So each of our recipients was given different questions that they could answer. And the question that Jack is going to answer for all of us tonight is, why do you think community service is important?
I believe community service is important because giving back to the community we live in is a valuable use of our time. All of my grandparents volunteer a lot of their time giving back to the community and are good mentors for me. I wanted to be a mentor and give back by helping out at my church and as a bully prevention theater mentor. I hope to continue to volunteer my time in college and help others in need. Thank you, Ms. Duffy, for nominating me for this award.
Thank you, Jack. You're all set.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you again, Jack. Next up, we have Caroline James. Caroline James is an 8th grader at Thurston Middle School. She was nominated by Westwood resident Laura Horsfall. In her nomination, Laura described Caroline as a thoughtful, compassionate girl who loves to read. Last year, when the pandemic hit and Caroline's usual activities were canceled, she used her passion for reading to collect books for African Library Project, which establishes libraries in countries like Kenya and Ghana. She collected, sorted, and boxed 1,000 books. To raise money for the shipping costs, she hosted Zoom reading sessions for children 1 to 6 years old, where she would use costumes and props to read stories, play games, and dance. Caroline is a member of the Girl Scouts, the Dance Force Academy in Norwood, and the Children's Choir at St. Timothy's Parish. At Thurston, she has performed in the school musical and is a member of the Select Chorus. If you're ready to come up, Caroline. I'm going to hand these to you. You're welcome. If you want to stand here, I'll read you your question. All right, Caroline's question is, why do you think community service is important?
Hi. That was loud. So the way I see it, everything that happens because another person did or said or decided something, and to me that's really incredible because humans have so much power to change the future in that way. And so to me, community service is doing or saying or deciding something for your community. And it may not seem like it has a huge impact right away, but that one thing can become another thing and another thing and another thing. And before you know it, your community or like maybe even the world is changed. And I think if we have that power, it's really important to use it. And that's why I think community service is just a really important thing to do.
That was lovely. Thank you, Caroline. All right. Next, we have Ryan Kissel. As Lori mentioned, Ryan Kissel is a 2021 graduate of Westwood High and is currently a freshman at Boston College. He was nominated by Michelle Miller, the town's veterans agent. When Ryan was a junior, he reached out to the Veterans Service Office about volunteering opportunities and ended up leading 2 important projects. The first project was raising funds for the USO phone card program, which takes financial donations to purchase phone cards for deployed military members. Michelle noted in her nomination that these donated phone cards are lifelines to deployed military members and their families. He used the Veterans Office as a resource and sounding board, but he did all the organizing and the work. Ryan led this fundraiser last fall and donated all proceeds to the USO phone card program. He timed the project such that the USO would have more phone cards for military members to use during the holidays, a particularly difficult time to be deployed. The second project that Ryan led was the Memorial Day grave decorating last year, during the pandemic. During May, there was a limit of 10 people in a single gathering, making decorating quite challenging. Ryan set out a plan so that small groups and families could decorate graves in both cemeteries. He set out timeframes so there would not be large groups in the cemeteries at the same time. The entire process took longer to do safely, but every veteran grave in Westwood was decorated in time for Memorial Day. During his time at Westwood High, Ryan was an active member of the Latin Club and co-editor of the We the People, a school political magazine. He also authored a Salute to Troops series for the Hometown Weekly. Ryan, please come up. Thanks so much. And Ryan has the same question. Why do you, Ryan, think community service is important?
I think community service is important because, quite frankly, it just betters our community. You know, it allows people to help the people who need help, and it creates a more welcoming community, which in turn, you know, helps the community function properly and create a place that everyone wants to be a part of and wants to live in. And I'd also like to thank Ms. Miller for nominating me for this award. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. All right. Up next, we have Katie Mullen. Katie Mullen is a senior this year at Westwood High School. Katie was nominated by Westwood High School guidance counselor Caroline Higgins, who knows Katie from their work on the student-led group Let's Talk About Race, Culture, and Ethnicity. Shortened, it's known as LaTarse. Last school year, Katie helped organize a day where high school students in LaTarse went to the middle school and facilitated hour-long sessions on privilege and got the students thinking about bias, racism, and other important issues. In her nomination, Caroline mentioned how Katie was impressive in her commitment to this group and shined as a leader in every way. Besides LaTarse, Katie is a member of the high school's Friendship Club, Westwood Ambassadors, the Fitness Club, and the Key Club. Katie, we're going to have you come up and answer your question. Thank you. Right. So Katie has a different question, And her question is, how do you think that your participation in community service will impact you in college and in your life ahead?
So I really feel like that the experiences that I've had in community service will impact me in the future because I've been able to develop skills in both leadership and communication that I really hope to continue to strengthen. Especially with the program that I was working with, I had to collaborate with other members of Latarse to figure out how we were going to structure those conversations, how we were going to create an effective and both engaging and effective situation for the students at the school. So it's definitely a process that required lots of collaboration and definitely like our ability to lead the conversations. But I'm very thankful for the opportunity and very thankful that I was able to develop those skills because I believe that they'll really help me in the future as I try to continue to create an impact at the community at college in the future. And I just also want to say thank you to Mrs. Higgins for nominating me.
Thank you, Katie. Last but not least, we have Vivian Woodard. Vivian Woodard is a junior at Westwood High School. She was nominated by Felicia O'Keefe, the Teen Services Librarian here at the library. Vivian is a frequent volunteer at the library and a member of the library's Youth Advisory Board. Once COVID restrictions eased, Viv single-handedly put weeks of children's take and make crafts together for the library's littlest patrons. The library staff had been working their way through the alphabet, creating crafts for preschoolers and toddlers based around a different letter of the alphabet each week. Viv helped package each individual craft since the letter E. Felicia remarked in her nomination that Vivian comes in with a great attitude and work ethic. She has always been willing to help out with other projects and is always asking, what else can I help with? We would not have been able to do this program without her. Vivian is a member of the Westwood track team, serves on the student council, and participates in the high school's plays and musicals. Vivian, if you could come up. All right. Vivian, your question is, why do you think community service is important?
First, I'd like to say thank you to the Westwood Rotary Club, Westwood Youth and Family Services, and the Westwood Public Library for having me here tonight. I'm so honored to be receiving this award. This library has been a pillar in my life since I moved to Westwood when I was in elementary school. During the pandemic, I spent a lot of time sitting at home, watching TV, and baking a lot. When Felicia, the teen librarian here at Westwood Public Library, mentioned that she needed some help with the children's craft program, I saw an opportunity to put my extra time to good use. I was surprised to receive this award because the time I spent volunteering didn't feel like community service. It felt like the library was doing a service for me by letting me come back in. Through programs like Youth Advisory Board and Alphabets, I was able to assist the Westwood Library as it showed its commitment to stimulating the community when there were no opportunities for enrichment available, especially for young children. Thanks to the generosity and kindness of Felicia, Lizzie, and all the librarians here, I've become someone who has influenced children the way I was influenced as a child in this library. This place taught me about life, service, and how important it is to be active in your community, because institutions like this don't just appear, they're built by people. I hope to continue to be one of those people in the future, and I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity I've been given to contribute in any way I can. Thank you.
It was so nice to hear from all of the recipients. Thank you again for your great work. As I look around, in closing, I just want to say, as we hear from these young people and the amazing things that they're doing, and I look around the room, I notice how much the service of these young people is built upon the service of their family and the things that they've seen as they come of age. So thanks to all of you here in the audience for your modeling and for your efforts, and thanks for being here again. With that, we will close tonight's award ceremony, and I think we're just going to be doing some pictures afterwards, but I'm going to formally adjourn the meeting tonight, and thanks again, everyone.